Okay, quick question. What's the worst thing a doctor can do to you? Most people would say a case of misdiagnosis, prescription error, or an assessment mistake. But what if the doctor knew exactly what was wrong with you, had the cure, and decided not to give it? Not by accident, but by choice. For 40 years, with hundreds of people of a particular race, all were subjected to slowly die in the hands of the people they thought would cure them. Let's go to Alabama. 1932, the world it happened in? Macon County is one of the poorest places in America. 80% black. Most homes had no running water. The roads were dirt and mud roads. Men worked other people's land from before sunrise to after dark for less than $100 a year. They watched their children get sick. They watched people they loved die from things that probably had treatments or solutions somewhere, just not accessible to them. From the beginning, it was clear that the system was not built to favour them. So when government doctors showed up offering free medical care, free meals and free rides to the clinic, people came. You don't turn down free healthcare when you've never had it. Everyone wanted a shot at a healthier life. But this decision would end up becoming one of the most disturbing intentional tragedies in America's history. In the 1930s, the US Public Health Service recruited 399 black men with syphilis, told them nothing about their actual diagnosis, and they told them they just had bad blood. The treatment they received was aspirin and vitamins, nothing that would cure them of the disease that would end up taking their lives. You see, the researchers weren't trying to cure these men. They were studying what untreated syphilis does to a human body over time. They wanted to watch them die. And they needed the men to keep showing up. So the lie continued. Professionally, year after year. The moment everything changed, 15 years pass. Medical science is advancing. The rest of the world moves forward. And in 1947, something happened that should have ended this study immediately. The discovery of a cure, penicillin, a complete cure for syphilis, not experimental, not expensive, a straightforward course of antibiotics now available at clinics across the country. The researchers knew. They looked at what they had, 399 men dying slowly from a curable disease, and chose to continue. They didn't tell the men and went further in the deception. When the war broke out and some participants were drafted, researchers called the draft board directly. Made sure these specific men wouldn't receive any treatment program that might accidentally cure them. That was how far they were willing to go for the experiment. What was happening to these men? To the oblivious victims, the study felt like a gift. Some of them bragged about being in the program. It felt like being chosen, like finally, after a lifetime of being invisible to every institution that was supposed to help someone, saw them and cared enough to cure them. But the facade didn't last for long. Soon the syphilis was moving through their bodies unchecked. It attacks the nervous system in later stages. The men started losing their vision, hearts began failing. Some developed dementia and were severely confused and frightened, not understanding what was going on. But the disease didn't stop with the men. Soon they started infecting other people. Their wives were infected. Some of their children were born with syphilis. Entire families were quietly destroyed by a single act of horror. The part nobody talks about, for most of history. This wasn't a secret. Researchers published findings in medical journals throughout the study, peer-reviewed. Cited, presented at conferences. The medical community wasn't shocked by Tuskegee. They knew it was happening. In 1969, the CDC formally reviewed the study. Peter Buxton worked for the Public Health Service. When he found out about the study, he was horrified. Wrote internal memos in 1966. Told to drop it. Wrote again in 1968. Ignored, so he took the files to journalist Jean Heller. On the 25th of July 1972. The story ran on the front pages across America. All hell was loose. The experiment shut down the next day. Not because doctors grew a conscience or the government decided to stop, because the public found out. The damage? 28 men died directly from syphilis, 100 more from complications. More than 40 wives were infected. 19 children were born with the disease. Lawsuits followed immediately after. The amount requested to quiet the victims was a $10 million settlement. Around $25,000 was given per person. No criminal charges were filed, and not one prosecution was made. The men who designed and ran this study retired comfortably. Clinton issued a formal apology in 1997, decades after the creation of the deadly experiment. 8 survivors were still alive to hear it. 65 years to say sorry. Why it still matters today? Studies consistently show Black Americans are less likely to trust doctors and are less likely to seek preventive care or join clinical trials. Researchers keep finding the same reason behind it. Tuskegee, what it proved. That the people with the clipboards and white coats can look you in the eye, call you a patient, and mean something else entirely. That trust broken at that scale doesn't heal, because someone eventually apologizes. The last survivor was Ernest Simmons, died in 2004 at the age of 96 years old. He enrolled as a young man because someone offered him free healthcare where none had ever existed. He spent his entire adult life as a subject in an experiment he never consented to, never fully understood, and never heard a sorry from the specific men who were responsible for it all. The question it leaves, this ran for 40 years, 6 presidents, hundreds of medical professionals who knew. It all ended because one man couldn't sleep and a journalist answered her phone. When institutions hold power over people who've learned not to ask too many questions because of racism and segregation, what actually stops it and protects them? If you want more history that doesn't look away from the truth, subscribe and share this for more.